Welcome to Upticks with Jake Falcon, founder and CEO of Falcon Wealth Advisors. In this podcast, we help high net worth individuals overcome financial complexities. We do this by enhancing financial literacy and discussing topics in a language free from industry jargon. Join us as we help explain exactly what having a solid financial plan means, as Jake draws from years of experience in helping hundreds of individuals get financially organized and focused on their goals. We hope you find Upticks educational, entertaining, and shareable. Now, on to the show.
Welcome back to the show. This is episode 211, Establishing an Encore Career. Matthew, thank you for joining me back on the show.
Jake, thanks for having me back.
It's been a while, I feel like.
It's probably been about a month.
Yeah.
Did I do something wrong?
No. I was very fortunate. We had some outside guests. So I had, if you're listening or watching to this and you haven't checked out some of my recent episodes, I had Andy Greenstein on, which was a really fun show. We talked about mortgages. And then I had Emily Sullivan on, who's an estate planning attorney, to talk about the differences between wills and trusts. So it's been fun having some different people, different backgrounds, different perspectives from other professionals on wealth management. So it's been fun. But no, you didn't do anything wrong, I promise.
Perfect.
Hopefully you're not too rusty.
I might be. We'll see. I might be a little camera shy today.
Well, there's nothing you can do about that. So, but before we dive into today's show, is there anything fun or new going on in your life? I know you got a puppy, but is there anything else that you want to share with our millions of viewers out there?
Yep. So Puppy, she is now 6 months old. We got her when she was 3 months. So she's grown from about 20 pounds to closer to 50. So I don't know if we're doing something wrong, but she just keeps growing. But still engaged since the last time we spoke on the podcast. We actually did our registry last weekend. So that was fun, going around, scanning items that, we might want.
Where'd you register?
We did it at Bed Bath & Beyond, Crate & Barrel, and then we're also going to do it at Amazon.
And where's the other one?
Amazon.
Ooh, yeah, good idea.
Amazon has everything, so you can't go wrong.
Right. It's kind of fun. I remember doing that with Rachel, and you're going through Bed Bath & Beyond or wherever. Did you go through the store or did you do it all online?
We went through the store for Bed Bath & Beyond, Crate & Barrel. I don't think Amazon has like an actual place we could go to. So
yeah, probably not. But it's kind of fun, right? Like, oh, I would like that. I would like that. I would like that. Now, what's interesting is like you don't know what you're gonna get, right?
Yeah, and it's also just very low stakes. Like it's not like I'm purchasing things. Like I'll scan this. I could probably use this in the future.
Right. That is one of the perks of getting married. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I remember doing that. Now, what was weird though, Rachel really wanted China. So we wouldn't register for China, but and we were very gracious and thankful for any gifts. But it was weird. Sometimes we got maybe we only got 3 plates, right? And we needed 4 or 6. So you're gonna have to deal with that if if everything isn't bundled together, you might have to go return things or mix or match. But it's fine. Again, it's all a windfall, right? Because there's no risk here.
Yeah, anything we get, we're very thankful for.
Yeah, yeah. And what kind of dog do you have for our audience?
She is a lab mix. We did a DNA test on her just for fun, and she's a whole bunch of different things. She has a Great Dane in her. She's got a little bit of Pit Bull. What surprised me the most was she had 2% Chihuahua.
Yeah,
I don't know how accurate these tests are, but it was fun to do.
Yeah. That's good. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, it sounds like you got a lot going on. And before we get into our topic today of establishing an Encore career, because I think this is a very popular subject right now for our clients, I want to just encourage the audience. So if you're not already subscribed, please feel free to do that. You can subscribe directly on YouTube or Apple iTunes through their podcast app or Spotify. Also, we have a weekly newsletter that goes out via email. If you're not already subscribed to that, please let me know. I can add you to that list. And also for all of my LinkedIn connections, I think I'm up over 700 in LinkedIn alone subscribers, which is pretty cool because I didn't start that not too long ago. So if you're subscribed on LinkedIn or want to be subscribed on LinkedIn, let me know. You can email me at jake@falconwealthadvisors.com, and I'm happy to add you to the list. Also, if you have any friends or family that you think can benefit from our content, don't hesitate to let me know. All I need is a name and an email, and we can add them. It's that simple. We're not charging for the subscription, so look at that. pretty good value there. Okay. So for today's topic, I want to talk about establishing an Encore career because many of our clients are retiring. And they're retiring for several reasons. Maybe they've grown a little bit burned out of their job. Maybe they're financially independent and now work is truly optional for them. Maybe there was a reduction in force and they unfortunately don't get to retire on their terms, but they're young, they're healthy, they're in their 50s, they're in their early 60s, and they don't want to sit on that rocking chair or play golf, which playing golf's not so bad to me, but I get it. You don't want to play golf probably 5 days a week. Maybe some people do, but and actually I have a few clients that probably do, but many of our clients are looking for Encore careers. And the first thing that I want to talk about with this, Matthew, is finding your purpose. And do you have any experience? Because again, we have hundreds of clients at Falcon Wealth Advisors and we have thousands of meetings. And so I want to talk about that. Like, where have you interacted with a client and kind of coached them along with finding their purpose?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question there. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, just because you've worked with hundreds of clients in the past, helping them, retire and find their purpose. One thing I would say is, with a lot of clients that I've seen, they may or may not be, happy in their current position. That's, layered towards their career. They're just trying to hang on for a few extra years, kind of grind it out. So with that Encore, one of the things that, I've seen you coach, clients on is, one, find their purpose. It doesn't have to, necessarily be for a paycheck. It could be social. It could be something they wanted to do in the past that they, might not be able to do just because they needed a more substantial paycheck to, pay the bills. So what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, no, good. Thank you. And you're right. So if once work is optional, and I think a good exercise to finding your purpose is one that actually I've gone through at Falcon Wealth Advisors for a company, is continually to ask yourself why. So let's say you are still at your corporate job right now. Maybe you need to ask yourself, why am I there? Right? And you're like, well, I'm there because I need to make good money. Well, why do you need to do that? Well, I want to be able to be financially independent. Well, why? So the key is to keep drilling down and finding that why. So maybe you are financially independent. Maybe you don't need to work. And then maybe you do need to reevaluate you're there. Or maybe you're already retired, or there was a reduction in force. And now you're asking, well, what is my new purpose? Well, what do you value, right? What is important to you? And then drill down. And I challenge you or our audience to ask themselves why 5 times, believe it or not. And I have a business coach that was going through this with me. And I remember when he was doing it, I was getting frustrated because he kept asking me why. But what he was doing was he was pulling out what our vision and my purpose of Falcon Wealth Advisors, which I'll share with our audience, is that clients choose to work with us to enhance their financial literacy and explain exactly what their financial plan means to them. And that's what drives me and our team every day to come into Falcon Wealth Advisors. That is our why. That is our purpose. But you can do this on a personal level and find, what is your purpose? Maybe you want to share your knowledge with the world. Maybe you're an engineer and you want to mentor other engineers. Maybe you want to teach 3rd graders how to read, right? Maybe you want to work at a golf pro shop and interact with golfers and talk golf every day. There's so many different avenues out there for you, but it's personal. And I just encourage you to keep asking yourself, well, why do you want to do that? And why do you want to do that? And why do you want to do that? Does that make sense, Matthew? Or did I miss anything? Or do you have any other thoughts on, I know you sat in a lot of meetings where we talk about purpose, but what are some of your other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've never heard that asking why 5 times in a row. I feel like clients would get frustrated at that point.
Yeah, just drilling down is really what. And I read this last night. It was perfect timing for this show because I didn't realize at the time that that's what my business coach is. I kind of chuckled to myself because I'm doing another program that talks about vision. So I've got kind of these 2 things going side by side, and that's what the exercise is. And I was like, that's why. And my coach isn't part of the program, but I was like, that's why he was doing that. He was drilling down to my purpose.
Yeah, that makes sense. And one of the things you kind of alluded to was having financial independence, before kind of making that switch. So I would say, for current clients that are considering it, let's set up a time to review your financial plan. Let's review the numbers, see, if you can afford, to take, pay cut. We can make your financial plan work. And for those that aren't clients that are currently listening that are considering doing this, work with a fiduciary, fee-only advisor that has your best interest in mind. Have them create a financial plan for you, build everything out, and then you can actually review your options at that point and, see if you can, make that switch.
Right. That's a really good point. I think it would be a little fiscally irresponsible if you really focused on your purpose without making sure your financial plan was aligned with that or set up, because it's very, I don't want somebody quitting their job that, they're making 150,000 a year and they quit and all they needed to do was work 3 more years and their financial plan would have allowed them to go do whatever they wanted, right? So we want to, that's really good. That's important. And that's, again, why we're here, is to help clients understand what their financial plan means to them. So we want to make sure that we can help you make work optional, right? And that way you can find your new and maybe, though, another quick point is maybe your purpose is your corporate job, right? Just like I'm very fortunate. My purpose is at Falcon Wealth Advisors. So I am not, I'm only 41 years old right now, but I'm not focused on what am I going to do after this, because I am doing what my purpose is, right? So I'm very fortunate in that. Maybe that'll change when I'm 60 or 70. I don't know. But today, my purpose is aligned with what my daily activities are. And that is allowing me to experience a level of enjoyment that I, sadly, a lot of people don't have. And so that's what we want to help, is get those finances in order so that you can get aligned with your purpose. But you got to drill down. I challenge you to keep asking, why am I doing this? Why do I want to do that? Why do I want to do that? And you'll get to that core, which will be your North Star and your guiding light to help direct you for what's next. So again, that purpose is tough. It's not easy, but it's a very important first step into establishing this Encore career. All right, good. So let's go. I got my notes over here. So, okay. So let's say you do find your purpose, Matthew. Then we do encourage our clients to stay social and network, right? And fully embrace LinkedIn. Do you have any comments or thoughts on this, on how to go out there and find? So let's say you got your purpose, whatever it is. Let's say it's, you want to work in golf or you want to volunteer, whatever it is. How would you recommend these clients go out into the world? And you being a younger, professional, how would you recommend they get engaged to find that Encore career?
Yeah, I would highly recommend LinkedIn. That was actually how I, found Falcon Wealth Advisors.
All right.
And got to this career. So I'm a big fan of LinkedIn. So my recommendations for that is just making sure your profile is up to date. List out, have like a description of who you are, make sure all your previous roles are listed there, and a short description of each role. And then at that point, it's just connecting with other individuals in the LinkedIn community. And with golf, as an example, if you wanted to, you might not have a lot of experience because your previous roles were all corporate roles, but I wouldn't be intimidated by that. A lot of times when you're hiring or for these second career paths, they're more hiring for your personality and something you're passionate about. You don't necessarily need years of experience.
Right. That's a really good point. I mean, we've had clients, again, that have had corporate jobs that are in golf. I've got a client who is now a hostess at a restaurant because she enjoys the social interaction of people. It's very low stress compared to her stressful corporate job. And she enjoys it, right? And she's not there for the money. And it's funny, I think she said something to the fact that when she interviewed, they're like, you are way overqualified for this. Like, do you want to be a manager at our restaurant? And she's like, no. I want to greet people. I want to make sure that they're happy and they have a good experience while they're at the restaurant. That's it. Like, I'm not trying to move up the ladder here, right? I just want to do something to stay engaged with other humans. I mean, our human nature, whether you're an introvert or extrovert, humans value, and it's just been proven that you have happier, healthier lives when you're engaged in some form or manner in community. And that's what this Encore career can allow for you to have. And so that's really good. So networking with your peers, connect with us, right? Because we have so many different clients from so many different backgrounds, particularly in the Kansas City area, but now in 30 different states, that we may know someone that we can connect you with, right? So just being social out there, willing to explore other things, reading books. There's a really good book out there called How to Retire Happy, Wild, and Free that I'm still thumbing through, but that gives you, it actually is a really good book. It gives you a ton of different ideas as far as establishing an Encore career. It'll give you a list of all these different things and you can circle them or check them off the box. So if you need help brainstorming, I would encourage you to pick up that book, because there's a lot of information in that book that talks about an Encore career in here. Another thing though is, when you are shopping, so let's say you start setting up some interviews, and don't be intimidated by an interview. Like you said, Matthew, they're looking for attitude. You have tons of experience. You've worked somewhere 20, 30, 40 years. Just go in and be yourself, be authentic, and know what's most empowering and fun about this is that if you are truly financially independent and work is optional, if they tell you no, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter, which is great.
It's low stakes.
Yeah, very kind of like you shopping through Bed Bath & Beyond. It doesn't matter, right? So I would encourage you. But if you are going somewhere for income, I would encourage you not to lowball yourself. If you want to throw out a big number for a salary or an hourly rate, whatever you're doing, throw it out there, because again, you have nothing to lose, right? There's no reason though that you should be working for minimum wage, unless maybe your buddy owns the business and you're just you would do it for free. And so the money is just a byproduct. But if you are doing something that is going to, require your skill set or your expertise or your background, don't be scared to charge for it. I mean, we have some clients making, fantastic salaries in their retirement years because they're leveraging their 30 years of knowledge in their field, and they're getting paid for it. And frankly, they should be getting paid for it. And so don't sell yourself short. If you're going somewhere that, you look, I've got 30 years experience in healthcare IT or whatever it is, and your company needs that experience or that background and my knowledge, charge for it. Don't be scared to charge for it. Because again, people will probably be willing to pay for it, particularly in this job market where things are still very tight.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Another thing I would add, just while I was thinking about this, is you don't necessarily have to leave your current corporation to, find your purpose. Maybe you were, executive, in healthcare, very stressful. Maybe you could take a couple steps back and, work a few less hours and still find, purpose and enjoyment in your career at that point too.
That's a really good point. Yeah, that way you get to stay in place, but not have the 40-hour, 50-hour stressful week. Not a bad idea in there as well. So let me look at my next note here. Oh, this is a good one too. Volunteering can be a career. So again, when I'm talking about an Encore career, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go get a paycheck, right? I have a client working at the World War I Museum, which is awesome. He's not getting paid to do it, but he had a very successful career. He's transferring some of his relationship skills to that, and he loves it. He's having a blast over there, and it's low stress. He doesn't need to get paid by them, but he likes the World War I. Who doesn't? I mean, that's one of the Kansas City staples or iconic landmark in this town, and now he's getting to influence that museum in a positive way, and to him, that is rewarding, And again, so he's not doing it for a paycheck. He's volunteering, and I know they are certainly valuing what he's doing for them. Do you have any other thoughts on the volunteering?
Yeah, I think that circles back to our first talking point of your purpose. You have to ask yourself why, maybe even 5 times to figure out what you want to do. In that person's case, volunteering was more important than leveraging his skills for, quote unquote, second career.
Right. That's really good. That's a good point. I got another one for you. Traveling can be a career.
Oh, right? That would be a fun career to have.
Yeah, so we have some clients that have literally hit the road full time, or mostly full time, right? So they're out traveling all over the place, and they're kind of logging their trips. They're sharing pictures, descriptions of where they've been. To me, that is somewhat of a career, because again, what I'm attaching this to as their purpose. They both worked. I'm thinking of one particular couple. It comes to mind. They worked, right? And they said, we want to uproot and we want to be nomads, for lack of a better term, and we want to travel about the country, right? And I love following them along on Facebook, seeing where they are and the fun that they're having. And to me, that is their Encore career. They're professional travelers right now, right? And it's awesome. And they're gaining experience, and they're probably meeting new people and enjoying great food and great scenery. And it's an adventure to them, and it's fun. And that's great. And to me, I consider that an Encore career, because they're not, my key here is I want to encourage clients not to sit in that rocking chair, right? Not until you're in your no-go years, right? If you're in your go-go years or even your slow-go years, let's get out and do some stuff. there'll be time. That rocking chair's not going anywhere, right? It'll be there for you. But while you can go out there, if traveling is a career, go out and travel, blog about it, write on Facebook about it, do whatever you want to do on that. Do you have any other unique ideas of things that clients are doing that we would consider an Encore career?
Yeah, I was going to mention on the traveling with the blogging and sharing on Facebook, you can almost make a career out about that because people are so interested and they would love to follow it. I've also heard of clients that are going around and following their favorite sports teams. So wherever, I don't really, like this team, but wherever the Cardinals go, for example, that person would, travel state to state to see the games, or they would try to see all the baseball stadiums over, the 50 states, or, football stadiums, and they can even make a, family trip out of that. So I've seen a lot of clients do that. And I think that's a great way to get the family involved.
Yeah, good one. Or hitting all there's a ton of national parks, right? Hitting up all the national parks, or, going to every capital city, whatever you want to do, right? Exactly. And you can kind of make a fun deal of it. Rachel and I haven't traveled that much, but we have a map in our, off our mudroom of the world. And every time we go somewhere, we put a push pin in there so we can kind of see. It's kind of, wow, we haven't really been that many places, but but it's kind of cool because that's the fun part of coming home, is like, oh, check off, New York or wherever we've been together, so we can kind of see where we've traveled. So again, you're right, traveling. And I have a client, and so to lead to that blogging, I have a client that's just writing about his experiences in life, and he decided to just kind of, it's probably a little therapeutic for him, and he's passing on his wisdom, but he's just sharing stories of his life on Facebook, which I think is pretty cool. And it was pretty easy for him to set up, right? He's like, I didn't have to go create a website and figure out how to pay for it and do all that. I just made a Facebook page and I write about my experiences in life, funny stories that had happened, lessons I've learned. And he's sharing that out in the world, and he enjoys doing it, right? But there's no pressure. He's not trying to get paid, but it is his Encore career because that's what he's doing. I have a client that's written a book. He's a published author. That's his Encore career. So again, there's all different things you can go out there and do. And it all starts with that purpose, though. You want to keep asking yourself why, drill down, find out what's important to you. And you know what? It can change, right? What's important to you this year may be completely different. It's what's important to you in 3 years or 5 years or 1 year. So, but I think just checking in with yourself, drilling down, finding out what's important. Like you mentioned in the beginning of the show, making sure that financial plan is solid and aligned so that work is optional. Or maybe you do need to go have this Encore career. Maybe you need to make $50,000 a year for 5 years. You know what? We can tell you that, right? And we can show you that, and we can show you how that will impact your long-term trajectory of your financial plan. But the key here is I just wanted to get people thinking about it. I wanted to give them some tips. Again, we have hundreds of clients, so we talk about this stuff all the time. And so I wanted to say that if you're struggling with it, you're not alone, and that lean on us. We can connect you with other clients. We can connect you with a retirement coach that talks about this type of stuff only. They don't talk about the financial piece. They talk about purpose. But there's resources and there's books out there for you to help you figure out what this exciting new Encore career looks like. Did I miss anything?
No, I think you covered everything. This is really good. I think this will be very helpful for a lot of our clients because especially guys, I feel like our identities are wrapped up in our careers. But seek out help because, as you mentioned, this is an exciting time. This is the next chapter in your life, and we just want to help you make the most of it.
Yeah, that's good. Now, I know you're a certified financial planner or CFP professional. Was any of this covered in your curriculum?
No, it really wasn't. This kind of psychology of finance. It's something they've added since I've gotten the designation. But whenever I first went through it, a lot of that wasn't touched on.
Yeah, and I'm a little disappointed too because I'm a chartered retirement planning counselor, and that was a long time ago when I took the test. And I do continuing education, but the continuing education is more around what I want to continue my education on. They don't have like a formal program I have to go through, but I don't remember them talking a lot about this either. And I get it. We're wealth advisors, right? We're dealing with money, but I mean, this is very important because, someone can have all the money in the world, but if they're miserable because they don't understand their purpose and their identity, then they're really not doing them any good. Or someone could have, a mild retirement nest egg, but it's enough to get them all the things that they want, but they're extremely happy and fulfilled. And so what we want is both. We want people to have all the money, right? And then we want them to be fulfilled.
Yep.
And that's what we're trying to help our clients accomplish. So thank you. I know this is a little outside of your norm. Corey is out on vacation, or I would have had him on the show because I know he talks about this with clients more than I do. I know you are really into financial planning, tax planning, retirement, numbers crunching, but it's good. You've been sitting in meetings with me, you're meeting with clients directly on your own that are part of our network. And so I think it's good. And thank you for sharing your opinion and your thoughts today.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. As we wrap up the show, any fun TV shows, books, recommendations, anything you watched out there or read lately?
Lately not, just because I've started a new designation, as you know, so I'm starting to become an enrolled agent, which is a very technical tax designation to help clients file their returns. I can help them if the IRS comes after them or if I have to argue in IRS court. So I've been spending most of my time, reading that now. So not a lot of TV shows going on.
Well, that's good. We want you doing that.
Yep.
So that's good. Yeah, that enrolled agent. And again, I don't want clients. I don't know if we're necessarily going to file taxes at Falcon Wealth Advisors, but what you're doing is you're getting the certification to have that ability. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to start filing taxes, day one. But you'll have that knowledge, which is the most important thing. So thank you for doing that. I know it's a huge time commitment. And it's a big deal. So we appreciate you doing that. And our clients surely appreciate it as well. So, well, perfect. Well, thank you again for joining me on today's show, Matthew. To wrap it up, thank you all for tuning in, listening, watching, and reading. And we hope you have a great week.
Thank you for listening to Upticks. Click the subscribe button to be notified when new episodes become available. Also, be sure to visit our website, falconwealthadvisors.com, and click the Contact Us button if you'd like to meet with Jake and his team.